This skyscraper in the heart of New York is scheduled to be demolished. But there's a problem. The buildings around it are only meters away. Roads, tunnels, and thousands of people surround it every day. So how do engineers remove something this big without destroying everything around it? Because when most people imagine demolition, they picture something simple. Knock the building over. Let it fall. Job done. But in a dense city, that's impossible. There isn't space for a skyscraper to fall sideways. If it tipped even slightly in the wrong direction, it could destroy entire blocks. So they have to hire engineers to think about the problem very differently. They don't try to push the building down. Instead, they design a way for the building to bring itself down. And that idea starts with something we all learned as children. It's much easier to destroy something than it is to build it. Step on a sandcastle and it collapses instantly. Knock over a tower of Lego blocks and the whole thing falls apart. But skyscrapers are far stronger than sandcastles. You can't simply push them over. So engineers study the building like a giant structural puzzle. Because every skyscraper stands on a hidden skeleton of columns. Those columns carry the weight of the entire building down into the ground. As long as they stay intact, the building stands. But if certain supports disappear at exactly the right moment, something surprising happens. The building can no longer hold itself up, and gravity takes over. This is where controlled demolition begins. Engineers need to figure out where to place small explosive charges on carefully chosen structural supports across several floors. But the important part isn't the explosions, it's the timing. The charges don't explode all at once. They actually explode in an incredibly precise sequence, milliseconds apart. When the first supports give way, the building begins to drop. Moments later, more supports fail above, then more again, each moment removing just enough structure for the building's own weight to pull it downward. Think of it like a house of cards. If you remove just the right cards near the bottom, the entire structure suddenly loses its support and falls on top of itself. And that's the key. Instead of tipping sideways, the entire skyscraper collapses inward, almost like the building is folding into itself. From the outside, it can look almost effortless. And here's something most people don't realise. A large skyscraper can weigh hundreds of thousands of tons, which is what makes people assume that demolition must require enormous explosions. But that isn't actually true. The explosives themselves aren't powerful enough to destroy the building. They only remove a few critical structural supports. After that, the building's own weight becomes the real force of demolition. And surprisingly, explosives aren't always used. Most of the work happens long before the building ever begins to fall, because demolishing a skyscraper in the middle of a city isn't really about destruction. It's about control. Would you want to be inside the skyscraper next door when it falls?